What's up guys, and welcome back once again to Did Reviews. Today I'm going to do a quick review sort of review type test thing on some new RAM that I've just purchased for my system. I'm hopefully going to go up to Ryzen 9000 series soon, so I bought some more RAM. So I've got the 7000 series 7900X system, and I have this system as well, so I bought some extra RAM. And today I'm checking out the Klevv Cras I think, or Cras V RGB RAM, and this is obviously DDR5, and it's AMD Expo and Intel XMP. So basically we're going to plug this into the system and test it, see if it gets its advertised speeds of 6000 mega transfers per second. It is a 32GB kit, and then we're also going to see if we can push it any higher and get up to, I don't know, 6400, something like that, and see how well we can get on with this. It is supposed to be, from what I've researched, quite good at overclocking, so we'll see what we can get out of it. So let's take an unboxing and then get it in the system. So here we have the Cras V RGB DDR5 gaming memory from Klevv, or a subsidiary of Integral, I believe. So you should have heard of those, and you probably might have heard of Klevv as well. They're not as well-known brands as obviously your Corsairs, your Kingstons, your G-Skill and things like that, but they are bringing out some nice kits, and this basically struck my attention when I saw how nice it looked, and it's actually a really good price as well. I think I paid £110 here in the UK, and it's 6000 mega transfers per second, 32GB, 16:2. So it's a decent price. Obviously you can get cheaper. I was looking at the Crucial, but their CL timings seem to be quite high unless you go for the overclocking version, but then it doesn't have RGB either, so I went for this one anyway. So as I've said before, previously, it's got AMD Expo support and XMP 3.0 for Intel. We'll just have a quick look at what what it says on the back. Not that it means a lot. So we've got configurable controllable RGB lighting. Hopefully that will work with Asus or a Sync. Built-in PMIC and on-die ECC for better power management and stability. Supports Asus Aura Sync, there we go. Gigabyte RGB Fusion, MSI Mystic Like, ASRock Polychrome Sync and management. Rigorous test procedures to highest quality. Reduced voltage and ultra low power consumption, and QVL approved and compatible with mainstream motherboards. So other than that, you should be able to see down here, this is a, like I say, it's a 6000 megahertz, 6000 mega transfers per second really, and it's a CL timing of 36 to 36, so it's a really good timing, and just one of the reasons I went for this, and that should be at 1.35 volts. So we're going to get it in the system soon, and we'll test that out. But first, let's take a quick look at it. Klevv didn't send me this, unfortunately. I bought this myself, so it's my own opinions on this. Or as it is with all my videos, it's my own opinions, but I've paid my own money for this. So if I really don't like it, then as always, I will say. This is one of the sticks here, and personally I think this is one of the best looking kits you can get out there. There is some nice kits out there, but I really like the sort of sleek finish with this sort of design on here. I thought it just really looks quite classy, to be honest with you, and really sort of kind of understated, just kind of with a nice sort of shape on it. Obviously it's got all the logos and things on it, and then we've got some nice RGB bars on here, and from the pictures, like the ones on the box, it looks like it lights up really nicely. So we've got all that there as well, and obviously the other one's exactly the same. So that's what they look like. Feels like a really good heat spreader on them. They feel really heavy actually. So we'll get them in the system, and then we'll see how well they perform. We'll get into the BIOS, and hopefully we can get these up to at least 6000 mega transfers per second, if not more. 6000 is the sort of sweet spot for AMD, and I'm using the 7900X. But we'll see if we can push it a little bit higher, just to see how well it does. And then I'll probably drop it back down to 6000, because that's supposed to be the sweet spot according to AMD and everyone else that I've heard from. So let's get it in the system and see what it looks like. Right, so we've got it installed in the system, we've got into the BIOS, we'll sort that out in just a second. I just want to show you what it actually looks like in the flesh. It is a bit cramped in here because it's in a ITX system, it's in the InWin modfree Mini, so it's a bit cramped in here, so it's quite hard to see, but as you can see, that's the RGB there on that, and it looks absolutely lovely. This is on a Mini ITX board obviously as well, but looks absolutely lovely. Really impressed with that. The diffusion of the light's absolutely fantastic as well. So really impressed with that. So let's zoom that back out. and then we'll have a look at the BIOS. So we've zoomed that out and we're having a look now at the BIOS, and we can see, we can't see, I'll just spin this around. We can see now we've got the RAM recognised 16,384 megabyte, LC it's set at 4800 megahertz per second at the moment. Expo says enabled, DDR5 6000, 30, 36, 36, 76, 1 at 1.35 volts. So we'll just go into advanced mode and just make sure that's actually set and ready to go. Into AI tweaker, AI overclock tuner, Expo 1, it's done it automatically. I haven't even touched it, it's done it automatically and gone straight to 6000. And for some reason that's there set at, just change this because it's still set at 5600 from my old RAM, so we'll just put that to auto. So hopefully now we should get 6000 mega transfers per second. We'll just save that and reset the system. Right, so we're back into the BIOS after applying the Expo setting. First time it didn't work. I think it's because I didn't actually change anything. I left it as it was and it sort of went to auto and put itself back to 4800. I don't really know what. But now we've got it set at 6000 there, and as you can see it's reporting at 6000 megahertz there as well. So we're doing well on that. So I'm actually really happy with that. We're going to boot into Windows, and then we're going to do a Cinebench run just to make sure it's sort of stable, just a quick test just to make sure it's stable and doesn't crash or anything. And then once we've done that, we're going to come back to the BIOS and see if we can get any more performance out of it. So I've just got into Windows. I just want to double check that the memory was running as intended. We're getting 6000 mega transfers per second there, with 25.2 available because 5.7 is being used at the moment. I'm not sure why, but it is. So we've got 6000 mega transfers per second. So let's just do a quick Cinebench run to make sure it all works nicely. So just going to do a quick Cinebench run here to make sure it's working as it should. Do a multi-core run, and hopefully it'll be nice and stable and we won't have any issues. Apologies for the noise. We've got a very small fan in here that runs at a very high speed, so it gets quite loud. But yeah, we're getting through this absolutely no problem at the moment. It seems to be working absolutely fine. Obviously, a longer test sort of with gaming and other things, video editing, stuff like that would be a better test for this, so we can actually figure out exactly if it's stable or not. But so far so good. Not had any issues with that at all. And we've got a score of 26,001 from a 7900X. Obviously, it's limited on cooling at the moment, being an RTX case with a small cooler, so it's not running at its full potential. However, it's still doing pretty well, and I'm quite happy with it, to be honest with you. So let's go back into the BIOS and see if we can get any more. So we're now back in the BIOS, and obviously we're still running at 6000. We're just going to go into cancel that, into advanced mode and into the AI tweaker. So we've got Expo 2 enabled, which is 6000, 30, 36, 36, 76, and obviously the frequency is selected to 6000. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can actually push it any higher. We're going to go straight to 6400, and we're going to see if this actually takes. It's kind of a dirty overclock. I'm not doing anything with timings or voltage or anything like that. I'm just going straight for a higher clock speed, so hopefully it will manage it. If not, I might have to increase voltage, but we'll see how we get on. Right, so we've tried our dirty overclock, and if you look just over here, it's taken the 6400, and it's obviously it's in a BIOS, but it's stable at the moment. And I think, is that the memory voltage there? It's running at 1.4. I haven't touched that, but it might have done that for me. I'm not actually sure. Let's have a quick look through the settings, see if we can see anything on there. I don't actually know where that'd be, but let's go into Windows and make sure it actually works. Right, so now we've got into Windows, and we've managed, as you can see just down here, we've managed to get it to run at 6400 mega transfers per second. So really happy with that. Again, we're just going to do a quick Cinebench run just to make sure it actually runs okay. I know Cinebench probably isn't the best test for it, but I just want to do a quick test just to make sure nothing crashes or anything. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully it will actually work, and as again we'll do multi-core test just to push it a bit harder than we would normally would. Right, we've had a crash in Cinebench straight away, so maybe this isn't going to work. Right, so we had a crash with Cinebench trying to run it at 6400 mega transfers per second. So we're just going to dial that back, and then I'm not going to mess around with voltage today, but that's something I will play around with in the future, and timings and stuff like that, and see where I need to go with it in terms of to get any more out of it. Maybe I just can't, maybe it's just one of those things, but we'll see how we get on. Let's just change that to 6200 and see if we can get that out of it. In the end of the day, I'm happy. We've got 6000 out of it, which is what it's meant to do, and that should be optimal for AMD, but we'll see what happens. Right, so we're back in Windows. We've got it running at 6200 mega transfers per second. We're running Cinebench, and it's actually started this time. It hasn't just crashed straight away. So we'll see if we'll make it through this, and if we do, then I'm happy that 6200 is going to work at the moment. Obviously, again, it will be longer testings. It would be a good idea to make sure it's working long term. But so far, so good. It looks like, yeah, we've made it through, and we've gone from a 26,001 to 26,226. So we've actually increased some performance on that here. Obviously it's a CPU test, so probably not going to be the same in gaming, but we've got some performance gain out of that going to 6200. So I'm quite happy with that. That is going to come in a future video. I'm going to see basically RAM speeds, how well they sort of alter things like CPU tests and gaming tests as well, and we'll see how we get on. Right, so there we have it. The Klevv Cras V RGB DDR5 32GB 6000 mega transfers per second kit, and sort of a little review on how well it performs. Guess its advertised speed, no issues whatsoever, no boot looping or anything like that. It got straight in with no problems at all, so it does what it's meant to do straight away. And I've even been able to get a little bit more performance out of it at 6200 without changing any timings or any voltage or anything like that. From what I've read before I bought this, actually I did some research myself on it. It is capable of getting up to about 6800, I believe. Although that was on a 6400 kit actually, so this hopefully could get up to 6400. However, I believe they did run it at like 1.4 volts instead of 1.35, so that's something that I could potentially do it in the future. If you want to see if I can do that, then let me know, and I can do a short video on it, or I can do a full video on it, whatever you want to see. Let me know and I'll do that if that's what people want to see. Now, the reason I did this dirty overclock, as I'm calling it, is because my original RAM that I'll still use in another build is the Kingston Fury Beast DDR5, and this is only a 5200 kit, and I managed to get 5600 out of this without touching any voltage or anything like that. Again, I literally just changed the clock speed, left all the timings the same and everything like that, and it did it no problem. So that's why I thought maybe I could push an extra 400 out of this, but obviously I couldn't. It crashed in Cinebench straight away before it even started the test, so I reckon it needs a bit more tweaking before we get any further with that. So I reckon maybe just voltage will do it, but then again it might have to change timings and go to slower timings. So we'll see that in a future video. Like I say, I might just do a short, but if you want to see more detailed in depth of that, then I can do that as well. So that's it guys for this review. I am going to do, like I say, a sort of gaming and probably CPU benchmarking test on RAM speed. So I'll start at like 4800 and work hopefully all the way up to 6400 if I can get this to do it, and basically see how we get on with that and see how that affects real world performance, and mainly in terms of games, because that's generally what my channel's about normally. So if you want to see that, then obviously hit that bell icon. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I know other people have done it before, but I'm going to do it myself because I just like to see for myself in person. So if you want to see that, obviously stay tuned to the channel. It will be coming very, very soon. And thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed this, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike, and leave me any comments in the comment section below. And again, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.